Welcome to New Strength. I'm Christina Cook-Lee. New Strength is a daily devotional offering hope and encouragement to people who are trying to get and stay free from depression and or dependency. If you're viewing directly on YouTube, you can read along with me. By clicking on the description area below the screen, you'll see that all of the words are there for you. And if you're on my New Strength blog, of course, the words are there for you as well. Thanks for joining me. Our topic is Live and Let Live. The focus, a cloak and dagger sin. The scripture, Matthew chapter 7, verse 12 of the New International Version of the Bible. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets. Gossip is listed right along with murder in the Bible. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 15. It's a cloak and dagger sin, meaning that the person doing the gossiping usually has a hidden motive and often will seem very innocent or cloaked as they share information that is unfounded, untrue, or unproven about someone who is not present. We don't need to spend a lot of time defining gossip because we have all either done it or been a victim of it, possibly both. It practically goes without saying that a person who is depressed or dependent has had some involvement with gossip. It's a pattern, just like many other things. It can even be addicting. When you have an unmet need for attention, it is an easy trap to fall into. Bystanders are often more than willing to listen to information as the gossip tells stories about others. Playing the dual role of the victim is tempting if the gossiper is lonely. The gossip and the victim are often working together at the same time. A story can get started, and then the personality of the gossip switches gears to the personality of the victim as a way of excusing their behavior. An example would be something like this. I wouldn't be sharing such a thing, but I just couldn't believe he would do that to me. Two things are accomplished as the gossip victim goes to work. The gossip has received attention from the listeners and has further justified their wrongdoing by playing the victim. The sorry thing is, the gossip victim goes home feeling depressed. If they are dependent, they will probably do whatever their addiction tells them to do. Taking ownership of our part in gossiping and playing the victim is such a hard thing to do. Both are so tantalizing and subtle. They fall into the category of those familiar sins that move in and take up residence. You know they are living in your temple, but you haven't told them to leave. Actually, sometimes they are kind of convenient for you to have around, so you just don't own up to the fact that you have been giving them free rent. In fact, one of the biggest reasons people continue to make room for the gossip victim is that they are in denial that gossip victim has really moved in. The only way a person in recovery is able to begin moving forward is by admitting they have become powerless over their problem and that their life is unmanageable because of it. We may not necessarily see something like the gossip victim as an addiction, but let's take a look at what kind of power and influence that old gossip victim might possibly have in your case. Do you feel a squirming inside of you similar to the one you had before you were able to admit you were powerless over your addiction or depression? If so, remember how liberating it was to finally admit your problem? Making an honest search of our defects and having the willingness for God to remove them are some of the necessary steps in recovery. Having the gossip victim as a resident in our temple is a defect of our character. The good news is God can and will move them out. We just have to be willing to let them go. It is our responsibility to confess the sin of being a gossip victim to God. We also need to be willing to work with Him as He gives us new ways of communicating. We have to become willing to speak the truth about people and situations. We need to practice keeping our mouths shut and not telling everything we know about everyone we know. A hallmark of being a trusted friend is being trustworthy. We must give those who have offended us to God. It isn't our job to turn the world against them. God alone is their judge. He tells us to bless those who have misused us. Declaration. I will find new strength by relying on God to remove the gossip victim from my character. I will keep moving forward by being willing to let go of the destructive habits and patterns of my past. Thanks for taking the time to listen. I would really appreciate it if you would like this segment, and if you wouldn't mind, please share it with someone else who might also benefit from it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the New Strength Devotional channel on YouTube and on WordPress, and then a link will come to you every day in your email with a segment like this. And if you're already a subscriber, I'll look forward to meeting with you again tomorrow. My prayer is that you will find new strength day by day and endless blessings. I'm Christina Cook-Lee.